Greetings, comic book fans. Welcome to the Dude Cave. I'm Jason. It is the 4th of October 2016, and you are watching the premiere edition, the debut, the very first episode of Comic Book Opinions. This is a new video. I usually mainly do reviews, but I'm so far behind with my books right now that it's impossible to do weekly reviews. So I decided instead what I'm going to do is an opinions video. I have my book of opinions every time I read a book or I read something online or have an opinion on a comic, I jot it down in here, and then I'm going to come on here and I'm going to talk about it. These videos, the aim is these are going to be short videos. It might be a fortnight between videos. It might be a week. There might be a couple of days between videos. That's the idea between it. They're short videos that kind of people can digest an opinion. As of yet, this is going to be a work in progress in many ways because people can digest an opinion, but I don't know quite yet whether I'm going to just do like one opinion per video or do multiple opinions and stick it to like 10 minutes. And then once I reach the 10 minutes, I'm going to stop and kind of save the rest of my opinions for the next video. I don't know. It's a work in progress. We'll see how we go. So without further ado, I think yes, looking at my watch, it's time. It's opinion time. So, first opinion I want to share with you is the big news story of 2016, and that's the changing fortunes of Marvel and DC Comics. We go back, we rewind to the beginning of the year. Marvel were coming off strong. You had Deadpool, which though it wasn't a Marvel movie, it was still a Marvel character. That was doing well at the cinemas, and it kind of ignited a like for the character that is still strong now. You know, I'm buying this. I think 4 Deadpool books a month, and that's 4 more Marvel books I'm buying now than I would have been. So that's kind of lasted all those months. We also had Captain America: Civil War that came out, and that was blooming awesome. Favorite film I've seen this year has been so far. We also, at comic book wise, there were some really interesting characters that were bringing back, like Doctor Strange and Power Man and Iron Fist and Black Panther kind of getting their own titles again. And things were looking good. We had Sam Neill and Wade on Black Widow, which was exciting. So things were looking really strong for Marvel. Meanwhile, over at DC, things weren't going so well. We had that plodding movie, Batman versus Superman, which even though kind of seeing the Trinity on screen for the first time was, did give me goosebumps. It was a plodding, slow film that kind of, I know when we'd watched it, I went to see that film with my mum and my wife, and when we came out, we were like, that was long. And where with Captain America and Deadpool, we were like, that went really quick, we enjoyed that, and we were buzzing, where we wasn't quite as buzzing with Batman Superman. Also, comic book wise, a lot of the books I'd been initially excited about in the New 52 I dropped or disappeared. Books like Aquaman or The Flash or Wonder Woman or Batwoman or Swamp Thing or Animal Man, Justice League Dark, Green Arrow. I'd either changed creative teams and I wasn't really excited with the new direction, or I'd been cancelled. So DC, and yet there was still some good books coming out of DC. Books like We Are Robin, Superman, Lois and Clark. We had Midnight at Grayson. So there was still some good books, but overall, they just weren't the titles I was excited about, and kind of the ongoing direction at DC wasn't really excited about. We kind of fast forward a few months with the launch of DC Rebirth, and that has kind of completely reversed the fortunes. DC now are I've never in all my comic book reading life been so excited to read DC books and to see the direction that they're going in. You look at the titles that they've got coming out and the whole Rebirth thing and the way they kind of have embraced the history of the characters while keeping the continuity, I think has been fantastic. And all the comics just feel revitalized and exciting again. Marvel, meanwhile, it's kind of, I'm not feeling the direction they're going in. It's kind of like where I was with DC earlier in the year. I'm just not feeling the direction. They kind of want to go away from what made these characters work. And whereas Marvel Studios are kind of embracing in many ways the classic versions of these characters. Yes, there's exceptions, like Hawkeye isn't the Hawkeye I grew up with. But overall, the characters are very much the the classic versions of those characters. Marvel Comics, meanwhile, are going away. Spider-Man is super rich and successful now and an international superhero. Captain America is now a Hydra agent, apparently. Maybe he isn't, but with time will tell. There's another Captain America who is his former sidekick and he's black. We've got a female Thor. We've got a female Wolverine. We've got a younger Hulk. It looks like we're going to have a female Iron Man. So like it's just they're going in all these different directions, and a lot of it I'm just not feeling. X-23 as Wolverine has been awesome, and I've loved that, and the whole Man Logan stuff I found really interesting. But there's just a lot of things that they're doing right now that I'm not feeling. Whereas DC, I'm just super excited and super pumped, and kind of the figures kind of tell the tale of where we're at. In April of this year, DC had 6 of the top 20 books, while Marvel had 13. We fast forward 3 months to July, and DC had 18 of the top 20. The other 2 top 20 books were from Marvel. And in August, DC kept strong. They had 17 of the top 20 books, with Marvel still retaining just 2. So that kind of shows you how Marvel are falling down. And I think there's a number of factors in that. I think, like I said, I think Marvel are kind of going away from the classic versions of their characters, where DC kind of embracing it. So I think that is one big factor. I think another big factor is just DC are writing really good books right now, and that's got to be that's the end of the day. That's going to be the thing that's going to really do it for them. So that's a big thing, I think, as well, that you can't underestimate how well DC are doing and the stories they're telling. But I think also a big factor is every year Marvel do their big event. And like this year it's Civil War 2. The event isn't going to end until December. That's when the final issue. They've added an extra issue like they did last year with Secret Wars. And the event isn't going to end until December. And kind of a lot of books are on hold until October when they kind of launch their new, well, that's this month, this now. Years going so quickly, I kind of lose track of where I am sometimes. But this month, a lot of the new books are launching, or kind of like the jumping on points are launching. And for the last couple of months, a lot of books have been in a holding pattern and kind of have gone down. And where they had started strong, the book has fallen off. And I think in past years when Marvel have done this with their books, DC haven't really had any answer for it. This year, DC have got their shit together, and it's shown the effect it's had. People are jumping on DC. They're excited about DC. Where Marvel, because they're in this holding pattern, people have kind of cooled off. And maybe when all these new books come out this month, maybe people will be talking about Marvel again. But we've still got Civil War 2 isn't going to finish to the end of the year, so we ain't going to know the nuts and bolts of what's happened until then. So it's going to be interesting to see, because I'm confident Marvel can turn this around. They've got too many great creative people there that they're not going to kind of answer. But the way they answer is going to be interesting. Are they going to keep on the course? Because Marvel, to me, they're pretty much long-term planners. And are they going to stick to that course? Or are they going to say, look, DC have embraced these classic versions of their characters. Maybe we need to do the same and kind of change the direction they're on. That's going to be, for me, the interesting story as we go into 2017, because I don't think we'll see Marvel's response to this yet, because it's been 2 months. DC have done really strong. If DC can keep this for the rest of the year, if they can keep this line share of the top 20 books, then I think that's when Marvel are going to kind of sit back and say, we need to answer this. So that, for me, is going to be the real interesting thing going forward. Speaking on DC Rebirth, I've just been loving it. There have been some books I haven't enjoyed. I didn't like Harley Quinn, mainly because, for me, I think the things I liked about her in the Suicide Squad weren't present in the book. And also, it felt a bit too much like Deadpool. And I don't know who were doing this storyline first, whether it was DC or Marvel. But what they're doing with Deadpool currently is what they did with Harley Quinn in this book. So I didn't feel for Harley Quinn's book. Suicide Squad, again, I didn't. It's the first time I can remember I've not been able to finish a comic. I just couldn't get through that Rebirth issue. I just didn't do it for me at all. Deathstroke, I enjoyed the Rebirth issue, but as the issues went on, I enjoyed it less and less. And it's not so much that it's a bad book, it's just the direction is not what I want to see in the character. they did this in the previous run of Deathstroke. Um, in that, like, they bring his family into it. His daughter, who's also, I think she's an assassin, and his dad came in the last series. In this series, they're kind of bringing his daughter back into it. And I kind of don't want to see Deathstroke, the family man. I want to see Deathstroke, the assassin, the bounty hunter, going on these, doing these different jobs, maybe being, kind of been a bit shades of grey, where he has his own kind of moral code and there's certain things he won't do. Kind of that's more what I want out of Deathstroke, rather than what we're getting with the whole family kind of shenanigans. That's not what I want. And likewise with Blue Beetle, I didn't enjoy that because it just wasn't what I was wanting. I wanted more the classic Ted Kord Blue Beetle, where we kind of, from the Rebirth issue, it looked like we were dealing with Jamie Reyes more. Which, while I liked Jamie Reyes Blue Beetle in the cartoon, Batman Brave and the Bold, or is it Bold and the Brave? I never remember which way around that is. Um, but while I enjoyed the Jamie Reyes Blue Beetle in that, in the comic, I kind of want to read Ted Kord. I want to see what he was like as Blue Beetle, and we weren't getting that, which is why I didn't enjoy that book. The books I've really enjoyed, and I've enjoyed the books, most of the books I've been reading, but I think Detective Comics has been particularly strong. From a writer in James Tynion IV, I wasn't quite sure whether he could do a book consistently, because in the past when I've read series from him, he's been a bit inconsistent. Where it's kind of had some good ideas, not always really realised, or kind of starts well and then kind of goes down, and then so I was a bit worried about him doing Detective Comics, but he's done a fantastic job. I like the Bat family is assembled, and I just really have enjoyed that story thus far and that book. And so, yeah, Detective Comics for me is one of my favourites. The Rebirth. Trinity is a book, the first issue I absolutely loved. Francis Manapul, I love his art, the stylized way he's got about it, but I also really enjoyed the story and like the whole idea. You wouldn't think Bruce Wayne and Wonder Woman going to have dinner with Superman would be so entertaining and so engrossing, but like Manapul pulled it off fantastically, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to do with that series. And Wonder Woman, I think Liam Sharp is kind of, for me, one of the MVPs of the Rebirth. He's a guy going in, I did not know nothing about him. But coming out of that, I'm loving his art, and I like the way Greg Rucka as well has kind of split the book, where like he has 2 issues a month, and one issue is the ongoing adventures of Wonder Woman, and one issue is Wonder Woman Year One. So I'm kind of liking how he's doing that. So like those are my kind of the books I'm enjoying the most. But I really love in Rebirth, and it's got me really excited, more excited than I've ever been to read DC Comics. I grew up as a Marvel fan. They were the company I primarily read as a kid, and all through my comic reading life, really, they've been the main company for me. And so it feels like in a strange place, just to not what they're doing is not resonating with me right now. Anyway, my 10 minute, I'm near enough 12 minutes now, so I'm going to call a day. We've got plenty more to talk about here. Um, Next time, I'll be back soon with some more opinions. Thank you for watching. Please give me a like if you like this video, and if you agree or disagree with anything I've said, comments below, please let me know. All that leaves me to say is thank you very much for watching this video. I've been Jason, coming to you from the Dude Cave. This has been Comic Book Opinions. Keep reading, and bye for now.